Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Today we're in the silver soldering phase of the ScoutCrafter C-Clamp Challenge. Yeah, not everybody's going to be doing this, but I decided to take a broken clamp and fix it because that's what Sneelock does. After I fix the broken thread with silver solder, I'll see if I can polish things up and make it look pretty. Have the frame washed up in grease lightning, along with the pin and the two pieces of the shaft. Now, don't need to do anything with the frame right now. But what I do need to do is polish up the ends of the thread just a little bit with a wire brush. Okay, this is our muriatic acid. And here's our clamp pieces. Got this out in the garage away from everything. I got my vise covered with plastic. I'm not intending to spill any, but you never know. I'm using clean strip muriatic acid, which is 90%. This came from Tractor Supply. And it's used for etching concrete, brightens concrete and masonry, removes excess mortar from bricks. But it's muriatic acid and it eats rust and corrosion off of steel too. The only thing I got to do is I don't want to leave that in there too long. All I'm trying to do is just flash etch the surface to make sure I get it good and clean. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to take it in the house and wash it off in the sink and run this down the drain with a lot of water. Here's where the fun starts. Make sure I don't drop any of my pieces on the floor. Like this little pin that likes to take off on me. That looks pretty straight. Okay, now I got to disassemble it again, all the more fun, and put some flux on it. I'm going to put the flux on this while it's in here so I don't have to put any flux down through the center of that clamp frame. I won't be silver soldering with these black rubber gloves on. This is water-based flux. If it gets a little too thick, you can put some water in with it and mix it up and it'll go back to working just like it's supposed to. Rather than using goggles or safety glasses or flash glasses, I like using a face shield. I have corrective lenses, so this lets me use my corrective lenses and see just perfectly. It also keeps anything from popping onto my face. Not that that's ever been a big problem. It's more of a cut and torch thing. This works really nice when you're running a cut and torch. Keeps all the spatter off your face, and keeps some of the smoke out of your eyes, and works quite well. Lead solder, they charge you an arm and a leg because they say it's a hazardous material. This stuff they charge you an arm and a leg because they say it's silver. whatever they can do to charge you an arm and a leg, they're going to tell you. I like to put a little flux on the wire. Not that it's a real necessity, but it just makes sure that I've got enough flux to cover the area and keep the area clean and no oxygen on it. Okay, I don't need a whole lot of heat. I just want to have a nice feather out there at the end. It always takes longer to prep the joint than it does to do the actual soldering. And that's actually the way it should be. If you spend the time getting ready to solder, the soldering is easy. If you don't spend the time getting ready to solder, you're going to be in for a world of hurt because this is going to go wonky on you real quick. That looks pretty nice and straight. I got a little more solder on there than what I wanted to. Now I could heat it up and try and scrape the solder off, but I think I'm better off just taking a file to it and chasing the threads and making sure that it works clean. If you have any suggestions for new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.